From Yeshiva College in 1988, and apparently his wife tells me that their first date was at a Yeshiva College Romantic Society production. So I think we got a lot out of it. Please come cheer some more. Thank you.
I'm surprised she told you that, but she said that doesn't count as a date. President Joel, honored guests, fellow YCDS alumni. First, again, I want to thank Barbara Birch, Lauren Elephant, and Alan Sefton for putting themselves together, and for asking me to say a few words about my own YCDS background. My personal YCDS story started over 30 years ago when I started high school at MTA. My brother Mark was already in YU and already involved in YCDS, and he told us we needed to come see the YU play. From the first time I entered the old theater in what is now Parking Garage E, I was really hooked on the magic of the live stage performance. The show that semester was The Visit, and starred the incomparable Adam Charnow, who's here somewhere. I then saw all the shows while I was in MTA, and got involved in YCDS within the first few weeks of my being at YU, going on a Sunday morning with Steve Sokol to build the set of Pinocchio. I worked on all 8 shows while I was in YU, including Amadeus, which really to this day is the finest performance ever by Kesh Rapun as Amadeus, Walkenheim and David Falk, expertly stage managed by Danny Caleb, who drove up here from Louisville, Kentucky, to do this tonight. During those years, I was really involved in every aspect of the YCDS production. From hanging lights and changing gels with Johnny Krug at midnight, from building more sets with Steve and then finally doing them on my own, including the fantastic one for Noises Off, which nearly killed Steve Reed. But I think he's alive and came here tonight. Painting sets and doing artwork with Bruce Cohen, who's also here. I learned ticket sales and publicity from my brother Alan, and really nearly every other job that you can do in YCDS, until finally acting on the stage myself with my childhood friend and classmate Ellie Bayless, who's also with us tonight and waiting in the dark. And all of this while being pre-med the entire time. And truthfully, throughout my medical training and my residency, and for many years thereafter, I returned to Washington Heights more than 30 times to continue to see YCDS productions, including a few directed by Lynn Snyder, including 1776 last semester, with my friend and neighbor Connie Isaac, who was terrific as Ben Franklin and terrific again tonight. But truthfully, each semester as I wanted to return to the YCDS play, I would wonder to myself, and more specifically, Rachel would say to me, why are we going back year after year after year? And I think the answer really has 2 parts. First of all, returning to the theater at YU reconnects me back to a time that was very special in my life, and probably similar to yours. I had the opportunity to find new ways to express myself and my own artistic side. It opened my eyes to new ideas, and it provided me with a lifetime of experiences that I really, truly carried with me always. But on the other hand, there was an additional part that I will mention, that I have spoken to many, many YCDS alumni in the last few months, and we are all in universal agreement about one thing. For those of us involved in the first 90 or so of the shows that are being celebrated tonight, the Yeshiva College Dramatic Society is synonymous with its founding director, Dr. Anthony S. Bucas. It was through Dr. Bucas' creative brilliance and artistic expression that all of these shows took place. I have been hooked on theater since first seeing The Visit in 1981, and until this day I did not go to a Broadway or any stage performance without looking up at the lighting cans or the color of the gels, checking out the movement of the sets or looking at the blocking, and I owe that love and appreciation of theater to Dr. Bucas. Whether you were from the era that called him Tony, Dr. Bucas, or just plain Doc, Dr. Bucas is certainly with us in spirit today, and it is certainly clear that his 42 years of dedicated service to Yeshiva College Dramatic Society only led to us reaching this celebration today. Although I do have to say, though Dr. Bukas had the rare privilege of consulting with the Rav, Rabbi Salvetia, on how to put on shows on a variety of controversial topics at Yeshiva, he never was able to get Dr. Belkin or Dr. Lamb into one of the shows. So kudos to Lynn Snyder for getting Richard Joel. Now, while Dr. Bukas provided the photos and the paraphernalia for much of the slideshow you just watched, it really was with deep disappointment that he told me he'd be in England this week and unable to join in the celebration. But I do hope that in a few years we will all come back together for the 50th anniversary of YCDS, have Dr. Bukas here with us. I know that all the YCDS alumni present would agree, as well as the hundreds of others across the country. Rabbi Krug, Johnny, this is also not the presentation. But you have spent your own 42 years dedicated to YCDS, always with professionalism, perfectionism, and a smile, with a continuing love of theater, while leading a true Torah Umada life, and embodying much of what Yeshiva College is about. I think we can all agree on a large part that the beauty of the Yeshiva College education is that it avails every student to be involved and have the opportunity to become involved in all of the programming and any extracurricular activities that they so desire. The YCDS Theater is always filled with a broad range of students from every religious background from far across the U.S. and with a multitude of future plans. At YU, the theater is not just for theater majors. This room of Dramatic Society alumni is not just filled with stage performers, directors, and artists, but also doctors, lawyers, rabbis, businessmen, teachers, and more, who are all able to find the time in their busy dual curriculum lives to experience the magic of theater together. Through time spent working on a YCDS production, we bonded as lifelong friends with a strong shared history forged in the joint cooperation necessary to take the written word of a script and slowly translate it into a full-fledged theater production by curtain time on opening night each and every semester. So, as my final words and my salute to YCDS, here's to all-night dress rehearsals, to Yeshiva boys learning to put on makeup, to making professional sets on a shoestring budget, to running lights and sound cues over and over and over and over and over again, to trying to learn dance routines that Jewish yeshiva boys should not be even trying to do. And I plan to say that before the end of tonight's show. To curtain calls and to standing ovations, to sold-out performances or presenting to a half-filled auditorium, to John Krug, to Tony Bukas, and to Lynn Snyder, and to great friends and special once-in-a-lifetime memories. I'm so glad so many of you that I shared this with could join in the celebration today, and I thank you for listening and allowing me to express my feelings about the Yeshiva College.